What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Fresh here, and we are back again with some more Fresh Falcons talk, man. This is Jessie Bates and Chris Lindstrom's presser, and it's also another presser with the other assistant general manager. We'll see when we go to it, but yeah, we'll be reacting to this presser by them and seeing what's going on, man. Hey, football is getting around the corner, man. The drafting came and went by. Hey, stuff is starting to happen. So let's jump into this video. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Let's jump into it.
Just give us an update on how the off-season program's been going under the new regime here in town.
Yeah, with Coach Ra, I haven't, played for him or anything like that, but it almost feels like I played for him before. With him coming
That's
in,
good. That's real good.
Setting the atmosphere for, what we want to be, as a team, and the way he's explaining everything, how he wants us to be football players. He wants us to be complete men. Just overall, all around great people in this building. So I think it's really good that you have the top of the top speaking about not just football, but being great people. And I think that can go a long way with us having success this year.
Last year you didn't pick up anybody.
Now I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on this, but that could be a shot at Arthur Smith a little bit. Like, did Arthur Smith not do that? Huh? You know what I'm saying? And I also heard that he might have took a shot at him. So I don't know if that's it, but that could be possibly it. Just keep your eye out for it. I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a little, subliminal.
In the draft with some other
right there
signings, King and Hamilton and the kids today. Mm-hmm. What does that say about the guys who finished last year in the secondary? Clark stepping up, Mike Hughes, and D. How did they finish up, and how does it look back there moving forward?
Yeah, I thought, last year, those guys, they did a really good job. They were almost thrown in the fire at times. And I thought they responded really well. But, this is a new year, and that's something that no matter if you're a practice squad player, no matter if you're a Pro Bowl player, this is a new year, and, you got to reset goals. You got to kind of humble yourself.
New beginnings, bruh. And even though those guys came in, they don't know the system and stuff like that. Now, it might be, kind of the same a little bit that they didn't. Well, they'll be familiar with it because Coach Gray coached some of these guys before and stuff like that. So,
no question about, what Terry and those guys got going upstairs. I truly believe in everything that they're doing is going to continue to build this thing the right way. So.
Obviously, you go through a coaching change and you never know kind of what's going to shake out with it. But the fact that Jerry Gray was retained, how much does that matter to the secondary in terms of the continuity that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's always good to have somebody familiar face.
That's great because he's already been coaching them, and not only that, he already knows, what they need to do, how they can get better, and that should bring up the other coaches.
The coverage
the speed.
So much, it's more terminology and stuff like that. So having him, this is like what we played last year, describing what's different than what we did last year. So, Coach Hood is in there with, OG and Lance as well, Coach Lance. So we got a good group. Excited to, continue to be a leader in that group and also in the defense.
Jesse, trust the process and what the guys are doing upstairs, but how does a veteran like yourself react to when the first pick goes to a backup and it's not helping them now?
Yeah, that's a question that you, as a player, you're like, hey, I'm here to play football, and Terry brought me here And I truly believe that everything that he does is to help this team. There's going to be a lot of questions about, why we made that pick, but as a leader, I have to be the guy that, hey, this is the vision. This is what we're going with, and I can do all I can to make sure I do my part, and same for the other guys.
I like kind of how he just kind of somewhat deflected away from it, like, bruh, I don't really give a fuck.
After picks this year were defensive tackles. Thoughts on will that beef up front? What does that?
Now that's the real question you need to ask right there.
There's always good to have, Grady and David. Those guys have played at a very high level in this league, and when you have that, there's another piece of it where you have to bring in younger guys and teach those guys how to work. And I feel like Grady and David, those are two perfect people that those guys, when they get here in 2 weeks, they'll be able to, latch on to them like they're their big brother, little brother, and learn a lot, not just about football, like I said, but as being a professional, being a grown man. Like I said,
Hey, good teammates, leaders.
People tend to get scared when new guys come in and there's some competition there, but that tends to breed some success and some type of competition within our group. So at the end of the day, there's going to be 90 people on this roster, and we're all going to be having that mindset, getting better as one another, as our team. But you're also preparing for 31 other teams that are watching you, and that's what we're trying to build here. Is just be solid, just be a great football player, and then if your opportunity is here, it'll be here. If not, good luck. Elsewhere, wherever you are. But it's just about becoming a better person, better player this offseason.
Yep.
Jesse, what was your initial reaction when you saw Penix at 8?
Yeah, my phone was buzzing like I got drafted again. It wasn't very surprising to me. I knew what type of player he is. Being from Indiana, I kind of had an idea who he was, and I think he had a couple almost upsets against Ohio State, and I just watch football, and I can tell that he has a knack, and the NFL likes to come out with these cool quotes and stuff like that. I think he'll bring a lot to this locker room that, like we said, he may not be playing the first couple years, but just having that competitive nature in the locker room, whether it's Kirk Cousins, whether it's a practice squad player, whether it's me, whether it's a Pro Bowl guy, whatever it is, we're going to compete and get each other better.
Hey, and even he can see
when it came to taking Michael,
the good in having
felt such conviction in it because they felt like the team that they
even he know competition brings
good
good thing.
Go out and be not only competitive but could go out and win a lot of games, and they didn't think that they were going to be in the position to draft a quarterback in the future. When you hear that, what confidence does that give you in the leadership, but also the guys around you?
Yeah, it says, like I said, it says a lot about the guys and what we put on tape last year.
Yep.
And years prior.
I mean, the team.
It's good. It's a good.
The front seven kind of has changed a lot, so that is really what's gonna make a difference this year. And if our front seven can mesh really well together, we'll be all right. But as far as the secondary didn't really change. Only one spot changed a lot, and that's that secondary, that right side corner. I mean, corner number 2, CB2.
Rationale behind the Penix pick?
No, he did not. There has not been anything said about that. I don't think there should be anything said about it. This is the league that we play in. This is what happens. That's why there's a draft to bring in new players. It's uncomfortable conversations, obviously, but it's part of what we do. Not as just football players.
The NFL stands for not for long.
He said he wanted to be multiple, like most defensive coordinators, but he also said he liked the 3-4 base. Your thoughts on that and being able to maybe be more in a 3-4 this year?
Yeah, it's something that I've haven't been around in the 3-4 kind of front. But it's a great mix-up. I think it's everything almost looks the same. It's very challenging playing against offenses don't like that 5-up look. But you know, I can't say too much.
Yeah. Don't be giving the juice out, man.
Our defense will
I'm
be,
glad Dan
and
Quinn ain't up here, because, boy, he would have sung like a bird. He would have told all business.
That it feels like you've played for him already. What were your initial reactions with him like to get you to that comfort level?
Yeah, you know, he had called me. Coach Ra had called me, I think, right when he had got the job, and it was from a Tampa area code, and I didn't have his number at all. And he's like, "What, are you ducking me? This is Raheem Morris." And I'm like, "Hey, coach usually don't say you ducking me like that." So I had no clue what was happening. And I actually talked to Jimmy Lake, and Rob was sitting there, "Oh, you don't want to answer my phone call?" So it's just
He on your ass. Yeah.
knows the
Let's
difference
go.
between going to work and having a little bit, you know, having a good vibe about itself and not always being so uptight. You know, that causes a lot of people to almost freak out sometimes. And,
Hey, now
not
that
perform
right there.
at the highest level. So, yeah.
That right there. Now that's a shot. And that's a shot. And we all knew Arthur Smith was a uptight kind of fucking guy. And he comes from like that, you know, somewhat Bill Belichick, you know. Well, he comes from the Mike Vrabel tree, but Bill Belichick too, because Mike Vrabel came from Bill Belichick, and they all kind of got that same personality, that uptight asshole feel. And that's what he meant. Now, that right there, now that, if that ain't a knee shot, you know what I'm saying, a leg shot or something, I don't know what is. But that right there, that's a shot.
Coach Ra, I mean, he's great. He always jokes around. You know, I played him in the Super Bowl when he beat us. He talks about he called a great game as a defensive coordinator. He brags about that all the time. So, like I said, it's just a great person. You ask anybody around the league, he's been around this league for a very long time, and I've heard nothing but positive things, and
So
he's shown it day in and day out.
What can that new energy bring for this team?
Yeah, it's something new. You know, last year it was new for me last year, so I didn't really get to see, you know, what it was prior. But anytime, you know, things change, sometimes it's like kind of questioned a little bit, but it's a good feel. And I think, like I said, Ra's doing it the right way, of you know, laying our foundation and what that looks like and how do we attack it, getting to that point. So, yeah, like I said, very exciting to have a leader like Ra, you know, lead us this year.
Jessie, as the leader of this defense, what's your message, your advice to the young rookies that they drafted on the defense?
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of this interview seems like a shot.
You know,
just like how he's
there's not
somewhat
much to
how
say,
Jessie is
but
putting
when
some of
we
this.
touch the field together.
It seemed like a shot a little bit.
You know, we started something last year. Like I said, I hate talking about the past, but we started some good momentum with what we had. You know, with the guys that we had here. You know, a lot of those core pieces are back, and it's our job. I feel like as leaders, is to show those younger guys how this thing works. How do you go to work day in and day out? How do you? Everybody wants to get better, 1% better every day, but how do you do that? And that's not just football. That's take care of your body. It's taking care of your time management. There's multiple things.
I gotta say something, because it's bothering me just a little bit. Hey, Jessie, you might as well just go ahead and let the widows peek out, my guy, because it's like, bro, both of the corners right there, your hair did you try to like brush like over like the widow's peak area or something, like, bro? It's kind of bothering me. I can't cap to you, family. I'm sorry for calling that out. Like, I keep looking at your hairline, and it's just like it's like, are you balding right there?
So
we're gonna leave it where it is.
A lot
I'm
of
sorry.
defensive guys coming in. We're really excited for them. So yeah, 2 weeks we'll be locking arms together and meeting some more new faces. And
okay, I can't unsee it now. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that.
I didn't mean to point that out, but damn.
Continuity from last year, you know, with Jimmy coming in, obviously it was similar last year with you and a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean Jimmy
I fuck
talks
with
about
you
it.
too,
He
Jimmy.
turns on the tape.
I mean Jessie.
He
My
was in
fault.
LA last
They
year,
just
but,
said Jimmy, so I said Jimmy.
you know,
But I fuck
when-
with you,
when your
Jessie
defense
Bates.
is- When you're playing some
My
good defense,
my
you
favorite
see,
safety.
You know, other defensive coordinators.
Don't
trying to
kill
add
me.
in
I'm
what they
just
wanna
I just made an
add in,
observation. That's it. That's
yeah,
all I
it's just,
did. Make an
like I said,
observation.
we know who we are. and I think Jimmy Lake has an idea of what we can do. But we're going to be underneath his defense now, and maybe a different terminology here and there. But we'll be fast, physical, and nasty just like last year. And it's just something really cool to, like I said, build off of, rather than just having nothing to build off of last year. I thought we did, fairly well last year on defense.
Yeah.
Jesse, there's only one, two.
It would have been better if you would have been able to score. You would have been able to send more blitz packages and stuff like
what are the
that.
challenges to kind of defending a left-handed quarterback, or does it, not have any impact?
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. The spin of the ball goes differently. There's a bunch of things, I'm not sure. I'm not an offensive guru, but I'm sure there's going to have to be different, bootlegs to the left or different stuff like that. So, as a defender, I'm thank God that he's on my team. Going against him.
Hey, and scout team, you do. Yeah, he gonna do you bad in practice. You better watch your ass, Mr. Bates.
What they like to do.
Jesse, you were talking a moment ago about the taking care of your body and time management things. What's your off season been like? Have you added anything to your routine to gear up for this next season?
Yeah, so that's an evaluation that you kind of do. You finally get some off time. My biggest thing, my priority this year was, my son. This was
Good
my
man.
first year being
Good
a dad,
man.
and being able to
Good
spend
man.
more time with him.
That's what I'm
quality time,
talking about.
Out in Florida was probably the best thing ever. Sleep is the big thing that I told myself, and just continue everything that I've done to get me where I am to this point. So adding my yoga sessions and meditation sessions, just stuff that you try to add on to your I say Rolodex a little bit, and other guys kind of see that, guys see how I take care of my body, see what are you doing after you leave the building, and that becomes contagious.
That's good. I'm glad he brung that in because that's what we need. Last year we kind of got we got some major injuries and it kind of changed our defense a little bit.
That's the biggest thing. Everybody's been asking me, how's Kirk Cousins? How's Kirk Cousins? I was like, hey, his presence, just his presence alone, just being there, I think is next level. The coaches can't be out on the field too much, but when you have a guy like, Coach Kirk Cousins,
Hey, Captain Kirk, can you save me?
Whether that's with the ones and then the twos, that presence is something that is priceless. That a lot of people, you can't just have Penix come in here and he can just run all the jog throughs and the walk throughs, and Kirk's done that for 10 plus years, and he's comfortable in doing that, and he knows what that looks like. So, like I said, it'll be good for not just Kirk and our offense, but for a whole entire defense, our whole team, to see how he operates in the building, and like I said, that's going to breed a lot of wins, a lot of success in this building. So.
The league approved the Guardian caps for this year. I know the linemen were testing them out. Where are you at on the Guardian cap?
So for DBs, we're lucky enough where we didn't have to worry about the Guardian cap, so I don't have much of an opinion on that. I hear they're a little heavy. Yeah, a little heavy, and they could, fly off or whatever, but
I don't.
This is a physical
Now that
game
he's saying that, it's like that might be more dangerous.
Possible, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna hit your head a couple times, and that's part of this game.
I mean, wear them in practice, but in a game.
Yeah, I kind of like the clean helmet. We're talking about adding another helmet and stuff. No, we gotta see the new helmets and stuff. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For now to know, you might check it out.
Yeah, I say it's a no.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Hey, Chris, how's the off-season program been going for you guys?
Yes, sir, Mr. Lindstrom.
You all got to keep Coach led, but got a new leader at off.
It's been really exciting. It's so fun being back with everybody. Very fortunate that a lot of our guys are in our room are coming back, and so kind of just being able to connect with everybody was really nice. You miss your friends after a while, so it's kind of nice to get back to work, and the energy's been fantastic. And then just everybody's working so hard, and it's a great environment to be in.
And where are you at with the Guardian cap as a union rep and then as a player?
Oh man, I got like the worst photo of me ever that all those people keep using of me just tired in the middle of practice. But so we got to get a new one of that. But
hey, yeah.
I think the improvements that the Guardian cap made last year in terms of not like the first year would really ride up, and then I felt like in camp and stuff it was a lot better the second year, and I think the injury statistics really prove its effectiveness. I enjoy it for in season, but I won't be wearing it in games unless it's mandated. But I really in practice.
Yeah, because you see how he said it's kind of heavy.
Statistics.
You see how heavy like they make you putting your head on the swivel, make you even slower. It seemed like it'd be dangerous. Cause what if you going for a hit or something like that, and you think you got it on, and then you don't got it?
Guys do.
I
think like the Q collar is one of those things that guys wear as a preventative measure. There's different things, but I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't think so.
You talk about feeling very fortunate that there was so much continuity from not only Led and Sean, but the players and the guys around you on this offensive line. This is a position that this doesn't necessarily happen very often. When it comes to feeling how fortunate you are to have that, is it a sense where you kind of look at y'all can start faster, and what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I think just the simplest things of like, you strip everything down every single year, right? And you want to make sure your foundation's good going forward. But a lot of the times we're not wasting time to explain a drill. Like Led has a drill, we do the drill. As players who've been in the system, we understand the emphasis of the drill, what we're actually trying to work, what are we trying to accomplish in every single thing that we do.
He's not Chris Lindstrom don't seem like a good interview taker.
In terms of
because his choppiness of his speech. Or he might just get nervous public speaking.
Looks like, or like
something I'm just noticing about his personality.
Like, hey, if something's not up to 100%, like you can kind of talk with them and like kind of see different things. And also we built those relationships where it's like, if I'm constantly asking for feedback. So I ask the guys like, did you see something here? And they know the way that I play and I know the way that they play. And so it's like really, really such a great resource and like really extremely fortunate.
Iron sharpen iron, as a man should sharpen another man.
So I'm so lucky and thankful to be a part of it because,
gotta say that at all times,
13,
baby.
14 guys right now, but we're all pushing in the same direction, helping each other.
Chris, Jessie called Kirk Coach Cousins on the field right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he is who he is. What's your interaction been like with him, and how's that relationship, that bonding, that trust evolving?
It's been phenomenal. It feels like he's been here for years in terms of interactions with guys, and then you hear stories about just how great of a professional he is, and that reputation carries across the league. But then when you get here and watch the way the guy works, it's remarkable, and the way he interacts with us has been great. I mean, can't ask for anything more, and you just see the way he approaches every single day, the intensity behind every single
he don't like doing interviews. I could tell he don't like being in the media camera. Like, man, I really don't want to be here. It's just the energy.
The coaches are out there because we talked to him.
I guess,
and he's got the chains,
or it might just be me
on the field.
Just detail.
What do y'all think?
With everything, right? Like you go and you do things, and like, what are you trying to get accomplished? Just like I don't know anything about routes or anything concepts, but just hearing the way he talks to those guys or the way he talks to us about things, and just going through all the single steps, like in protections and stuff like that, saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking here. I've seen these looks. This is what works for me. Does that work for you guys? And like, good. And then just going through all the different communication aspects. And the biggest thing for us is just the communication part from him. Just it's a weird thing, but for offensive linemen, just hearing his voice and his timing and like how does he do his cadence? Every single guy like Taylor's different than Kirk, and just getting that timing down, and because that can be such an advantage. So just getting those reps right now is so crucial.
Kirk, is his in the huddle or just working with him a lot like Matt? Just the confidence, the experience. Do you find a lot of similarities?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of similarities, and I think both those guys just have a lot of experience. We're both great leaders, and then I think they were both extremely successful. And now that you say it, I think there really is a lot of
I
similarities.
think Matt was more
Right,
successful.
Morris has to come in
I'm
and
just
assess
saying.
The roster, they go through free agency and the draft, and they don't get an offensive lineman in the draft. What does that say about, in your opinion, the offensive line? As they get ready to move forward, they could always add something later, but as of recently, they haven't added anything in the draft.
I think we just got to go out there and earn it every single day, and I think that's the mentality of everybody in our room. Not riding the highs and lows of everything, and then just staying present in the moment and just trying to get better every single day. And really, just like you never want to rest on what you've done previously, because then your work doesn't really translate and doesn't show. And so I think just the mindset that we have every single day is to push ourselves, and what we did last year as a unit or what we've done previously isn't good enough, and then just keep building on everything. And then like what we were saying earlier, it's just like when you have all those guys that have come back, everybody knows kind of what the standards in our room are.
There you
and
go.
So then you're able to kind of
Cohesiveness.
build upon those, and we get to push ourselves instead of, I guess trying to stay the same.
Chris, what changes in approach when you're going from a quarterback room that was a little bit mobile, had designed runs, to now having a guy back there that's coming off an Achilles injury, and then one that has a pretty extensive knee injury history as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't worry ever about like the injury aspects of other guys, but the part of it is just the depth of the pocket, and just understanding where that is. Is that at 8 yards? Is that at 9 yards? Is that 10 yards? And then just like understanding the where, if it like a play action pass, like where is the quarterback setting up? Because just in your brain, you know, like, okay, I get to this point, the defensive lineman is seeing this, they're probably going to counter back. Or if it's at 7 or 8 yards, I have to be more aggressive because there's a shorter distance to the quarterback, where if it's deeper, you can kind of go back a little bit. So just like small things like that, just where the ball is getting out is always important, and that's things to learn kind of in this point, and then those reps, so you just know where to set.
What was your reaction to seeing Michael at 8?
I'm just really excited for him, and really excited for all the guys that we're bringing in. Terry does a phenomenal job, and really the entire scouts and staff.
I want to know what Caleb
McGarry
think. I ain't gonna cap to you. He's a Washington man, so
hardworking, and then just
you got what, 3 Washington players there? Caleb McGarry, Bryce,
like 2 weeks, and it's gonna be really exciting.
Brandon Bryce
to get him in the program and get going.
Brandon Trice, and Michael Penix. That's
so
3.
much on that first
And
kind of like he was getting drafted again. I'm curious if that was the same scenario for you after Penix comes off the board. Is your phone lighting up like crazy?
Yeah, I think that happens to most of the guys anytime, anything. Like, I get so much information off of Twitter just as a fan like everybody else. Yeah, a little bit just of, I think really my family's just really excited for the draft and everything. So regardless who was getting drafted, I was going to get texted, but really excited for Michael.
Couple more guys. I'm curious, you're one of a coalition of guys who was here when Rob was here a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see him? How have you seen him kind of evolve in himself from that time to now being not just
Good question.
not in COVID protocols, all that kind of stuff, but truly leading this organization?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. The energy that coach brings every single day is like, it's amazing. He's fun to be around, and then just the mindset of attacking every single day. And I was so fortunate when he got hired to come back. I was, so excited, and I told so many different guys, because, I know like Jake Hill and I have experience with him, and it's great, and I enjoyed, obviously 2020 was not the season we wanted, but it was phenomenal, and I can't wait for this year. Like, I don't know, it's oh my God, I'm stumbling. It's exciting. Sorry.
How was your offseason? What do you do? Do you work? I mean, Jessie was saying how he does some yoga, he does some like different stuff that he might not typically do. Do you have anything you physically do to prepare, or is it just kind of recovery?
Yeah, I do like 2 weeks of like recovery, so I won't work out for about a week, and then I do about 2 weeks of kind of just reworking like the small groups, muscle groups, just like decelerization of like ankles and knees and all those small kind of things that kind of get neglected as the season. And then in the same sense of, training here, it's like you build up those foundations in your off-season lifting program. So it's like, I'm not going to go in there and start back squatting 500 pounds, right, 2 weeks after the season ends. So I'm very fortunate. I have a great gym that, kind of writes out that program, builds it, and then slowly adding like conditioning and stuff. And then the conditioning really, like, I never want to really lose the conditioning aspect. So it's a lot of non-impact. So not really running, but as you guys know, there's many ways you can torture yourself doing cardio without having to run. So just a lot of that.
Chris, going back to Kirk for just 1 second, how invaluable is it to have a veteran like that and kind of a breath of fresh air, weightlifting for you guys?
He's just the experience that he has and the looks that he's seen, and he's played in a lot of big games. He understands, the different challenges that he may face, or different looks and stuff in protection, and he communicates those to us. And then just with his experience, he kind of knows the way he wants things too, which is great. So we're all on board, and I think just that opening those lines of communication is huge.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with the next press conference.
Woke up this morning, can't remember nothing. Said bitch, just flowing from London. Nothing I remember, they calling me daddy. The match was covered in money.